Welcome back to a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name's Brett Parnell.
and let's dive in. So, before we get our overall thoughts on the episode 6 of Survivor 50, two things. I'll start off with our draft update, and then I texted you today. There's something that every season we've covered on this show has been a staple of our, maybe not our first, no, our first season included, 45
Yep,
included, has been a staple of our show that we completely forgot about so far this
we
season.
did, but we're bringing it back here tonight.
So we'll get to player of the week in a second. And as Brett said when I texted him this afternoon, gee, I wonder why Bruce wants to bring it back this week specifically. We'll
Yeah.
get to that. But our draft update, let me pull it up. I posted it on our Instagram. That's going to get posted every Friday. I have a reminder set on my phone now. So our 15th, sorry, 17th place was Camilla. Was Camilla the first one?
Um, that's a good question. I don't really know how to do.
Well, who was the first tribal? Who
Yeah,
was the?
Camilla. But
All
I
right,
mean,
so
is that really fair to do it and seeing what we know about the Sandra boot and Winners at War? I would just give all of them the same placement, being 16.
I from what it's how it looks like he went 17, 16, 15, which is
Okay,
fair.
well, whatever.
I'm not the scorekeeper,
Fair
so
enough. I forgot to bring that up last week. It's my fault.
I
I
get what
just
you're saying, but I
I
also
just
don't
know
like
that
it.
in Winners at War, we know for a fact that Sandra was technically booted before Poverty, and production decided to give us the dramatic boot second.
I'm gonna be honest, I somehow missed that.
Really? Oh,
For 6 years, I did not know that until just now.
yeah, that's
So,
been undisputed by the every single player that was in that game.
okay, but if we haven't heard anything like that this time, I'm totally okay with 17, 16,
Yeah,
15.
I'm fine with it because it's our fault. We never discussed it 2 weeks
So,
ago when we should have. But
Camilla goes home at 17. She was on your dad's team, and like his total, he has a lower total than some of us right now at 19.67. But
but
we
with
have
only one player.
14 people left in this game, and he's lost 3 out of 4 people. I think
Yep.
he's kind of dead in the water here. I
He
think.
admitted that watching the show.
I hate it for him, but
Same.
speaking of, Kevin lost our second boot of the night, which I know you and I are going to get into. Genevieve goes
Are
home
we ever?
at 16. Kevin has lost 2 people now, and he's got 20. My mom has lost 2 people. She's at 19. They're not dead yet, but
They're not,
they
but
can't lose anyone soon.
you, Kyle, and myself have a big advantage.
Yeah, like Kevin and my mom can still win this draft, but neither one of them can lose another person
Yep.
anytime soon.
Yep.
I think your dad, unfortunately, your dad seems amazing. He's the only one that's like truly dead, I think.
Yeah.
But it's an uphill battle for Kevin and mom.
Yeah.
And then you, me, and Kyle, we each all only have one person gone. Kyle finally lost someone, which is good for you and me. Because if he went much longer, it was going to be hard to catch up.
Hmm.
But
So
Kyle,
one,
you can't go the way we score, and I learned this with traders. You can't go by point totals right now
until the end.
because like your dad has a low point total because there's more to
Points
average
assigned.
with it.
Yeah.
So I'm at 21. I'll start from the lowest actually. Kyle's at 15. Mom's at 19. Your dad's at 19.67 and 67. But you're at Kevin's at 20. I'm at 21 and you're at 22. But you, me, and Kyle only all have one person gone. So when we
That's right.
lose someone, our scores are going to drop.
If any of us can have two people sitting in the final three, that team will win.
I hope that's my team. I don't think any of us will. That's never happened in any of our drafts, but
Yeah,
this has been like this draft has been a close one so far.
it has.
So it's still Kyle's to lose, but you and me are right there. Like it took him a
That's
lot
right.
longer to lose someone, but I don't think he'll have Coach in the game much longer. So
I would think Coach is going to go further than Ozzy, but that's just me.
Coach almost went home this week and probably should
Yeah,
have if they would have been smart.
but this week doesn't matter once we get to the real merged game instead of cluster F.
Yeah. But like they should have. I'll say this now and I'll say it again later. Coach would have been the smart boot because everything. Apparently, Colby had another injury besides the one they talked
Oh
about in the
no.
episode. He absolutely would have gotten medevac soon, from what I can
Well,
tell.
that's good.
So, and I have other reasons I would have voted for Coach, but we'll get into that.
So,
Player of the week. We'll start with you because you're probably less predictable than me on this.
I mean, am I? It's going to be D.
It does. I'll pull the pop figure down. We haven't gotten much of an edit so far this season, but my girl is back in full force this week.
Yep.
Just an incredible episode from her.
Incredible episode from her. It's an incredible 2 episodes from her. The question is going to be she came in with such a big target and now has 2 big weeks in a row. How long are they going to let that play out?
She's well insulated. She's
She
got this
is.
like trio with her and Rizzo and Sari that seems to be a thing.
But Charlie was well insulated until he wasn't.
Because D got it. Like
Yeah.
she's on her toes. Like
But I'm
someone just
saying
has to be really
anyone
smart to
could
get her.
flip on her if they feel that she's going to win the game again.
I I don't think she goes to the end, but I'm realizing there's a chance she goes deeper than even I thought coming
Yeah.
in. I thought
Agreed.
early merge boot coming in, and I think she can survive a few rounds here.
Makes sense.
Because look at who the targets are still on in the game. Coach was targeted this week. You've got Joe, who's going to rub people the wrong way, who Devins has wanted to vote out for a few different episodes now. You've got Chrissy, who's been targeted multiple episodes. Like D's had a couple good episodes, but they're not seeing the episodes as they're playing.
Very true.
So, and I will say this is funny. I got on Twitter laying in bed after the episode and after texting with you a little bit, and I went through it. I don't, not even the like because Twitter has two options. There's to only follow people you're following. Then there's a for you option where it's just anyone they suggest it. I was on the for you, and it's like 4 out of 5 posts were D posts at one point.
That's
Like
funny.
great episode. This felt like an episode of 45, where she
It
just
did.
felt like on a different level. I loved it. Fantastic week from her.
And she didn't even need Johnny in the game with her either.
No. So him on Survivor would be incredibly entertaining. He never do it,
That
but
would be it wouldn't I don't think they would do it. I think he would do it.
no, here's the thing though. Like he has so many different ways to make money and he has the challenge he can go do. Do you think he's going to sign up to go starve on an island and like do these rigorous challenges and like the physical toll Survivor takes? He's
Yeah,
not
I
going to sign up
absolutely
for
do.
that.
Oh, I think you would.
I don't. I'm
I
not.
don't think there's
I think
anything that
younger him would have. I don't think current him would. I think he has too many other things to do,
fair enough.
or
I
that
don't
he'd
think
rather
there's
do.
anything that that man would say no to in the grounds of reality television.
There's got to be something.
But I don't anticipate production wanting to bring someone over from the MTV world into Survivor
No,
at all.
me neither. And if they did, it would be a like less polarizing, calmer character than Johnny Bananas.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Wes. He's kind of polarizing too, but
Yeah.
he's calmer at least.
On Zach Nichols' podcast this week, Jordan said he would like to play Survivor. That would be
I
fun.
saw that, and like I'm a Johnny Bananas fan. I have been since I watched through all of them. You know this. but
Yep.
that guy's personality sometimes is just throw a grenade into a China shop and watch what happens.
They casted Brandon Hans on Survivor twice.
Yeah, I'd like to think like they learned from that mistake. Not that Johnny's the same thing as Brandon Hance at all, but
No.
if they're bringing an MTV person over, it'll be a bit calmer of a flavor for the
Uh,
first one. Unless they just want to go full send and bring Amanda Garcia in
oh
and
no.
just watch the whole island burn down.
No, 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 no.
That would be
That
terrible.
one went too far.
I just wanted to make you realize there's an option worse than Johnny. You seem to not be on board with Johnny. So I'm like, hey,
Oh, I'd be
other
totally
thing we
on board
compare.
with seeing him play.
What?
I'd be totally on board with seeing Johnny play. Johnny on House of Villains, Johnny on the Traitors, Johnny on the Challenge when Michelle is not on it. I like.
Johnny on House of Villains is funny this year because he shows up as a non-contestant a couple times. And
That's
one of
great.
them was literally just riding by on a tricycle for some reason. One of them was hosting a redemption challenge. That actually made sense. But literally, was just, he drove by on a tricycle one time.
Now that's gonna make me be stuck in my mind because my nephew started to ride a tricycle for the first time this week.
Woohoo! Good for him.
Yep,
Okay, so let's dive in. We've got episode 6
we do.
of Survivor 50. And let's just get the big thing out of the way. Overall thoughts on the episode, on the triple boot. You're gonna have a lot to say here, so lay it
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna have a lot to say. You called that one right. Um, let's start with the positives. We've watched now 5 episodes of this season.
6.
Going 6. Thank you. My notes said 5, but I think I meant the first 5. What if we go all the way back to episode 1? It was the premiere. We had all of these players from different eras coming back. I was end to end excited for 3 straight hours. I watched episode 1 thinking, hey, heroes versus villains might want to move over. This could be the best season of this show. What we saw this week reminded me that we're still stuck in the new era. And to quote a friend of this podcast, Liz Wilcox, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Where to go from here? We're so apparently merged, but not really merged because when we already have 3 tribes, we're just going to split up into 3 different tribes and give them an hour in order to vote somebody out. The person who finds 2 idols has to play shot in the dark and with a 1 in 6 chance of being safe because they were forced to give those idols away to because of a musician's name twist that I will not quote on this podcast. And Colby, a legend of this game for 25 years, doesn't have a vote in the most pivotal tribal council set, I guess you can call it, of all time, because he lost a stacking game to Savannah 2.5 weeks ago at this point and was properly playing the game in the fact that he did not have to go to tribal until then. So Colby never votes in this game. Genevieve, another one of the legendary players of the newer era, doesn't cast a vote in this game because why? She kept winning and then has to give up her vote based on the situation. I didn't even say this after the hourglass. I was like, you know what? It was a mistake. People make mistakes. I didn't like it. Obviously, you knew that. But at this point, I'm like, I kind of am getting the sense that production's not learning from their mistakes. And if you asked me, should in going into 51, should Jeff Probst, Rob Sesternino, or Poverty Shallow host and EP the show? I don't know which answer I'd give.
Interesting.
Rant over.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm with you on the idols now, but when they first, to be fair, when they first introduced the boomerang idol, we both liked the concept.
Yeah, but I didn't think that every single idol in the game was going to be a boomerang idol. I thought that was kind of a one-off twist in the premiere.
I assumed it was one per tribe because that's how idols always are. But
fair.
And I've seen people complain, and not so much you, but just in general about the blood moon twist. And like splitting the merge group up into groups. I just want to point out, like you said, this is a new era season.
Yeah.
Splitting the merge group up and doing split tribals is not a new concept. The only part of it,
No.
like I looked it up, Chat GPT, so kind of looked it up. They may have missed one here. Split tribal double boot in 41, 42. I remember 42, Roxroy and Tori.
Which
43,
was controversial in its own right.
yeah, but 43, episode 9, they had a double boot. 44 did not have the traditional split tribal. 45 had it where Sifu and Caleb went home. And 46 had it. The twist itself is not anything new. She just got swap screwed a little bit in the draw, which happens.
Which happens, but at, I still think that it's not necessarily that one mistake is the problem. It's that they're just once again putting so many elements in the game that they're all stacking on top of each other, affecting two players, both Colby and Genevieve, equally, solely because they kept winning.
And that's fair. Colby not having his vote, I hate. I've never liked
Like,
being
like
forced to.
I don't even mind if you're going to lose your vote, but if you win immunity, give him his vote back. Like, make it a thing for the premier. Don't hold on to it till such a pivotal moment in the season.
I think my problem is I miss when the journeys were choose whether to risk your vote or not.
Yeah. Did you see Colby on, I want to say, probably CBS Morning or something?
Where he talked about their original plot to throw a challenge and vote
Yep.
Aubrey out.
See, that is, I was sitting there going, I wish they did that. That is exactly what would have needed to happen to teach production a lesson on give the players their votes back.
I do too, but here's the thing: you and I both know this. Throwing a challenge is always a bad idea because it
I know.
never goes the way you think it's going to.
Yep, you're 100%
That
right.
vote could have switched, and someone from the majority alliance could have ended up going home. We
It's
could have seen like what happened with Zapatera in 22, where they throw a challenge to get rid of Russell. And before that, they had momentum and they lost all momentum after that.
Yep. But
Throwing a
no one was
challenge is just
but
too
no one
risky.
was losing votes in Pearl Islands or Redemption Island.
Pearl Island. Did I quote
Um
Pearl?
Drake no, but Drake threw the challenge. It's probably
Oh,
one of the
I
most
forgot
famous
about
ones.
that.
When Fairplay and Burton wanted to get rid of Luput and then they got rid of Burton instead.
My point
Um
being, throwing a challenge is just too unpredictable. That's never a good idea.
you're 100% right with that, but at the same time, in my mind, if I'm the player without a vote, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
You know what they could have done? And I don't know, we did an episode on dumbest moves of all time. And I
Yep.
don't know if I quoted this one because we were both focused on moves made by individuals, but one that should probably be second behind Eric. Let's go back to One World, where the men's tribe, who's just one of the dumbest tribes we've ever seen, and you're laughing, you
Yes.
know where I'm about to go,
Oh, I
won an
know. That was
immunity
ridiculous.
challenge and decided, hey, let's go to tribal anyway. I mean, theoretically, they could have done that if they wanted to vote Aubrey out or like get Colby his vote bad enough. They didn't have to
Yeah,
just completely throw it.
fair enough.
That would have been
Uh,
incredibly stupid, and there's a reason only one
oh,
tribe has ever done that. But
absolutely. I'm just coming at it from the perspective now of saying the longer you don't go to tribal, if you lose your vote, the more impactful that first vote is probably going to be when you're going to be with sitting with no vote.
yeah,
And because we see these kind of splits happen with people who have at this point played the game so well, not having votes.
yeah,
And it happens in, will you mention all of the split tribes? It happens in almost every season that there is this twist, whether it be 2 votes or 3 votes, that someone doesn't have a vote, that we forgot they don't have a vote because it was like a month ago at this point.
yeah. And
And
altogether,
I think the
yes,
solution to that is just very simple. Just it tell the player, but like if where Savannah and Colby go on that journey before the challenge, Just make it that who they lose their vote, but if they win immunity, they get it back.
Yeah.
And then it's done. And then we can do another journey next week and have the same thing. And I don't think anybody will be complaining about no votes because you won't get to a point where half the tribe doesn't have a vote. You'll be, oh, either the person who lost in this episode lost their vote or they got it back and it affects somebody else 2 days from now.
Yeah. Or even you lose your vote, but if you make it to like that expires at merge. Like if you
Yeah.
lose your vote in the premiere, but you go to tribal in like episode 3, I'm okay with him not having
Yeah.
a vote there.
Fair enough.
And like
There's lots.
all the stuff that happened this episode, if you take it all together, yes, it's a lot and it's kind of a disaster. Each thing individually, none of this is new.
Yep.
Like,
And that's the inherent issue in my mind going on
I
as the show moves into another new era. Because I'd imagine there'll probably be some big differences between 50 and 51.
I love I love Genevieve. I hated seeing her go. Is she near the top of my list of players that I feel like production just completely screwed over with a single twist? Not really. I kind of just feel like she got swap screwed a little bit and just.
I think it's more than that. So few players in this game have had two idols in their possession at one time. And she did the same amount of work as Kelly Kim or James or Russell and got nothing for it.
And that's fair. I I I have gone from liking the boomerang to not liking it because of this.
Yeah.
But
I
also the concept of having to send an advantage away isn't new either. Look
I
at
think
like
that
look at like a legacy advantage or like the edge of extinction thing where you could only keep half of it and had to give the other half to someone else.
yeah.
Like
But
this,
that only lasted for a week.
I thought
You split it and then if they still had it, you got it back.
I thought they didn't have to give it back.
They might not have to, but it I don't I'd have to go back and watch the season again.
Well, there's still legacy advantage though, which hasn't come up for a while.
I mean,
But
legacy advantage you kept and you gave it to somebody else, but Sierra willed it to Sarah after she was removed from the game.
that
That
you
was
know
that
what?
was
You're
just
right.
Sarah
That one
playing
you
a
did
very
see.
good strategy of saying, "I know Sierra's promised me this, so I'll exercise. I'll instigate her exit from the game."
You know what? I was misremembering legacy. You keep it and then you will it to someone when you got vote. I was thinking you
That's
had
right,
to will it to. Never mind. Forget I
and it could
mentioned
only
that
be
one.
played at day 6 or 36.
Yeah, but like a lot, and I'm with you on the idol thing. A lot of the Genevieve being screwed over complaints I've seen are blood moon related and rock draw related. And people have gotten bad swaps and bad draws
Oh,
all the
sure,
time. That's not new.
and see,
Well, I mean, we quote, and it worked out fine, of course, but we quote all stars all the time. Every
yep,
player in that swap switched to the other tribe except Amber.
yep.
She could have easily been swap screwed and should have been voted out there if Lex wasn't gullible.
Well, yeah.
Well, I won't
Lex
say
isn't
Lex
great
was
at the
gullible.
strategy part
Rob
of the
just
game.
outplayed him.
Yeah,
I don't want to be mean to Lex. I hate the way Lex handled that, and I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But
fair.
I'll, I'm not trying to just go full out defending production. I hate the way this resulted, but not you. Like you're kind of what you're saying is fair, but
I think
I feel like online people are blowing out of proportion how like screwed over these players were.
I think if you remember like San Juan del Sur um or Cambodia, I think that's how the boomerang idol should have worked. It should have been some advantage that you find in a challenge or on a reward. It shouldn't have been the way every single idol in the game is, where there's basically, in my mind, was no point in this season for bothering to find an idol because the Genevieve found two idols, Christian found one idol. The only people who had 0% chance of getting an idol are the two that found an idol.
Yeah. And this is kind of where the pre gaming comes in a bit more.
Yeah.
Where we talk Were we talking about pre-gaming before or after we hit
Yeah, we were
record?
talking about it before, which again, I agree with you. I know you said before we got came on that that happens in every season. Yes, it does. But that's where the pre-gaming does come into effect. We talked about the 48 and the 49 players being at a bit of a disadvantage. Genevieve's probably at an even bigger disadvantage because she was only 47 and lives in a different country.
Yeah, and to catch up our
Even
audience,
Camilla lives in California, even though she and I hold the same passport. Genevieve lives up here.
to, to catch up our audience, because I couldn't remember if I was referencing a conversation before or after we hit record. I was pointing out how like I've seen people talking about pre-gaming and like this Zoom alliance, and not really players, but a lot of fans are complaining about that. People thought Charlie was complaining about it, and he came out and said like he was just stating it matter of factly. Pre-gaming happens on every single all returnee season that's ever happened.
Yeah,
You have to accept that's
definitely.
just part of it. Like
Yeah, no
you
question.
can't be upset about that. But the thing
No.
with the way this idol works is if you don't have those pre-existing relationships, you're a lot less likely to get sent something.
Yeah. And if you don't have those pre-existing relationships, or you do have those pre-existing relationships, but have to send it to somebody else, well, no one's going to intentionally get themselves voted out so that you have your idol back. So it's different than, say, an Edge of Extinction, where, or many other times we've seen where two half idols equal an idol. In this case, you physically had to lose, go home, goodbye, in order for the person who found the idol to have a chance at the idol.
Yeah. So we've talked for a while
We
already,
have. We'll
and we
probably go
haven't.
through the episode a little quicker. I think we dealt with in that preamble discussion probably the biggest parts of the episode, so we won't repeat ourselves.
So
But
do we still want to go full recap through the
yeah,
notes?
we'll go full recap and see where it takes us. But if you want to go like, oh, we already discussed this, that's fine.
Yeah. And so diving in, we have a boat coming to camp at all three beaches.
We do. All three beaches are gonna merge and not really merge.
Well, new era merge. This is how the merge works now. Is we
Yeah,
bring everyone
I
together,
guess
then
that
we do split tribals.
you're helping me see the silver lining. Jeff never said the words "earn the merge" so far. He
Oh,
said
he
the
didn't do
jury
that last
starts.
season either, I don't think.
That's right.
I think that's dead.
Good.
But we're merging. Oh, my other note, if we're gonna do three tribals anyway, we already had three tribes. Why not just wait a week, merge at 14, and just send all three of your tribes to tribal with
That
individual immunity in each?
that's what I was kind of. I guess maybe I wasn't as clear, but that was part of what I was saying. Is why are we merging to then split into three tribes who don't know each other the same way?
I agree, but I'm also like that's just a new era staple. Is we merge and then we split into random arbitrary groups for split
Yeah.
tribal. And this is a new era season. So I didn't think anything of Blood Moon,
Well,
honestly.
I thought it was in the hands of the fans, but it doesn't seem to necessarily be.
No, it is, but I guess a lot of fans, the fans voting were new, like fans that came in the new era
I
or
have a
casual
feeling
fans.
from some of the rumors that I've heard that there was a lot of COVID era fans voting.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, and not people like myself who watched season one as it aired in standard definition.
Like it's still in the hands of the fans. The casuals and the new era fans just took over,
Yeah.
which has me really scared for how the vote about Final Four went. By the way,
That's what I was hinting at that I've heard seen rumors on Twitter, but I don't know if they're real or not.
oh, don't ever believe Twitter rumors.
I don't want to, but I think we're on the same page.
I still feel fairly confident because that's one that like I've seen everyone complain about is forced fire. Like I don't
Yep.
see I defend the concept behind it, but I don't see anyone else defend it. So,
Oh,
and even I voted against it. But we're merging. Ozzy solidifies his alliance with Emily before they leave by telling her that he has an idol. And my note was maybe smart question mark, maybe not. What are
yeah.
you thinking here?
Um, Sharing information with Emily is always maybe smart, probably not. I had to laugh so hard when you get an Emily line of her telling Ozzy, "I won't tell anybody." And
Yeah.
I'm like, what have we seen this season from Emily Flippin?
Here's the thing though. People say, "Oh, you can't tell her anything. She's so loose-lipped." She's doing it somewhat strategically because it's benefited her every time.
Yeah,
I don't think she can't keep anything to herself. I think it kind of comes off that way, and that might be an edit thing. But when it works out every time so far, I don't think it's an accident. I think she's choosing, picking and choosing when to share things.
fair.
But I'm also realizing, because like with a 14-person merge, I'm like mapping out alliances, and I mentioned like D, Rizzo, Suri, and Ozzy. You also have the Emily, Ozzy, and Emily and D are really tight. We saw a
Yep.
connection. So that also gives me confidence D will stay a little bit. You've got a group of at least five
Oh,
to get
you do.
so
It will make it very difficult to get rid of her because even if you think that Dia is playing an amazing game, you would have to get multiple of her allies on board.
and you also just have to be a step ahead of her, which I'm not convinced anyone is.
Uh,
But
I guess that's something to ask you then before we get going. If you, and this is not necessarily Dia related, but it could be anybody. Um, we're merging now at 14 officially. Well, 17, but after this week, we have 14 left. Going into the next week where we're starting the jury, if you had to make a, we've already talked pregame, but obviously things are different. Who would you say is your winner pick now?
oh, that's hard. I don't know.
I have mine,
Who is it?
Sui. I
Interesting.
think she'll finally get it done. I do not know why. This cast seems to idolize Sui. This cast is giving her advantages. They are doing anything she wants. I thought Sui would have been voted out by now. But I think she's the best connected player here
To be
across all
fair,
generations. I mean, she has allies in Stephanie and Ozzy from her era. She has allies in Rizzo, who's looked up to her since he was a young kid.
when we did the draft, you said you could see her going to 6 or 7. So
Yeah, but I did not anticipate she'd be this well connected.
yeah, and she's working with D right now, so I'm okay with
Yep,
it. But at the same time, I'm like, you guys all collectively idolize her. You all realize that that's dangerous.
yep,
You all agree she can't go deep. Why are you letting her stay this far? Why is she not gone yet?
it's true.
They've all basically agreed she's too dangerous to keep around, and then they collectively keep her around.
Yeah.
It's, I can't explain it, but good for her. I still don't think they'll let her get to the end, but she's in a great spot so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wrong. I said on the draft that she was dead on arrival, and she's not.
But you
So,
were right about the strategy behind it that they should have been. I was wrong.
and they've even said that my strategy was right, that she needs to go because she's too likable. And then they
Yeah,
just keep her around anyway because she convinces them to.
that's right.
My next note was,
She's getting such a good at it, though.
yeah, as the other two boats arrive on the new merge beach, I wrote, I still hate how big this merge is, but as a fan, it's so cool seeing all these players on the beach together.
Yeah, and that was the big reason, I guess, that we did merge is just that no matter what era you started the show or started watching or got into it later, whether you're a 10-year-old fan or a 90-year-old fan, you can find somebody you like on this merge beach.
Yeah. And so we, of course, have Christian and Rick getting the band back together. We see Genevieve going to work immediately against Aubrey. We see her tell Suri that Aubrey has an idol. And she tells us in confessional the number one item on her agenda is to discredit Aubrey and tell everyone she has an idol. Then we get pandemonium of just montage everyone talking about all the idols and who has them on this beach, which is wild. But interesting move from Genevieve. We see Rizzo ask her, and kind of a smart move, if she's who sent his idol to him. And she tells him no. And no one, she doesn't want anyone to know that she sent that to him. And the goal was that no one will find that out. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Very much.
We see Sari tell Ozzy that she told Rizzo about the extra vote. And maybe quote of the episode from Sari Fields. I'm in a poly relationship with Ozzy and Rizzo. Never thought I'd hear that phrase come out of her mouth coming into the season.
I mean, I might have thought Ozzy might have said that, but
so that's fantastic. We get a good confessional from Sari about new era versus old era thinking, about being willing to vote with anyone, even your arch enemy, for one or two votes, versus sticking with the people you said you were going to stick with. And she says, I'm an old era player, but this isn't an old era season. And kind of hinting that she's playing the new era game, which is incredibly smart from her.
Very smart. She's one player who's almost mixing and matching every part of the history of this game, 50 seasons together.
If she wins, I'll be thrilled for her, and you'll be right, and I'll give you your flowers on that. I just feel like at some point someone is going to realize we can't let her get to the end.
I agree with you, but Suri's who I'm throwing my merge bet on.
I will say this also. It's a very slim chance, but until she gets voted out, it's still possible. If Dee wins, I am editing my Mount Rushmore. I don't know who's coming off, but she has to be on there if she becomes a two-time winner.
Who is your Mount?
It's the four we did. It's in no order: Rob, Sandra, Tony, Parv.
Okay, so the most frequent amongst the fan base.
Yeah, those just feel like the four most iconic. If Dee gets a second win, she's taking either Rob or Tony's spot.
I'm in the 10% that doesn't have that Mount Rushmore of the whole fan base.
Because you put Richard in where I have Tony.
Yeah, that's right.
If Dee gets a second win, though, I'm putting her in either Rob or Tony's spot.
Yeah.
And I'm having a good thought in my head about Parv versus her for the GOAT conversation.
Wow.
But her winning is incredibly unlikely. So I'm just riding the wave as far as I can.
I mean, her and Sandra would have won 2 times. As per On Fire, Parv's won 1.5 times.
Which I count Australia.
I just thought it was funny.
I fully count Australia versus the world, but I kind of get the 14-day thing.
Yeah.
People complain that 26 is too short. 14 is ridiculously short. Yeah. It's the same amount of people she's competing against, but I mean, I get it.
Right.
If Dee wins this season, she's in that echelon of all-time great player, though.
Agreed.
Again, seems unlikely, but I came into the sayings optimistically saying she'd make merge or early post merge. Right now, it feels like she's going way deeper than that. So
yeah,
I am excited to see where she lands.
I'm gonna say if I had to think that Dee's probably going to about 8-9, and that's when she becomes too big of a threat.
But I'd agree. But if I had said 8 or 9, you guys would have thought I was completely biased.
100%.
None of you would have been surprised to hear me say it, but it's insane.
I
Getting
mean,
back to
I'm
the
sure
episode
we
recap.
didn't know each other at the time, but I'm sure that no one was surprised to hear me say that Michelle was going to go far in 40. And other than the fact that everyone else told me I was crazy to think that, and she came through.
Yeah. And so back in the episode recap, because we keep getting sidetracked. A lot to talk about this week. Great
Yeah.
episode podcast wise. Like
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you don't like it,
Like,
but it's giving us a lot of content.
yeah, I was not a fan of watching the episode. It was really a first time this season that I'm like, really? We're going back here again? But great. Lots of content. Absolutely.
Game mechanics aside, the boot order just sucks this episode too.
Yeah.
I didn't lose anyone from my team, so I have that at least. But good lord, three people I like went home.
And I didn't lose to anyone either from my team.
You lost
But
your favorite player in the game,
I
though.
lost my favorite player in the game. I lost the only two players representing my country in within 8 minutes of each other.
So that was rough for you.
And then we lost a 25-year legend right after that.
Yeah. Diving back into the episode, there's a twist coming, and it could change the trajectory of everything. So we have this mad dash through the woods. And like everyone's looking for the clue or looking for the advantage. Well, everyone's running except one. Rizzo decides he's just going to walk through the woods. Walks right past it, by the way. And Ozzy ends up finding it. Finally finds something for the first time in his Survivor career.
Yeah.
Right? Did he find the idol on Exile Island in 16?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
He put a fake idol there, but that was it.
I know. So we thought he finally found something.
Or I shouldn't say he put a fake idol. He put a bleeping stick.
It was a fake idol. It was both.
I know. I was just wanted to throw in Eliza's quote in there.
Nice.
You know I'm a big Eliza fan.
Yeah. So Ozzy, we thought he finally found something. Turns out he's going to exile. And he gets to choose one person to bring with him. The other person can't say no. My first thought here is I need him to find a stick and carve a face on it while he's there. I think I texted that to you and I texted it to Kyle while we were watching the episode. But this is interesting. Like choosing someone to bring along, they don't get a choice. Ozzy is trying to figure this out though, because he doesn't want to bring someone and make it look like he's clearly working with them. But he also doesn't want to choose someone and make it obvious that he's working against them also. Yeah. So like what do you do here?
It's a tough one. I think Rizzo was probably a great strategic pick from Ozzy. It's someone he does not know. It's someone who does not know anyone else in the merge other than the players he's been on a beach with so far. And he's known them just in the game, not outside the game. So overall, I'd say Ozzy played this as best as he can.
I think he did. And also...
And it's not often that I'll say Ozzy made an amazing strategic move. So he's improving.
This is the first time you've ever said that on this show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. But
also, Ozzy's number one is Sari, who has, at this point, told Ozzy she has a relationship with Rizzo.
Yeah.
So it's important for him to form that bond with Rizzo so the three of them can have an alliance, not just Sari having a one-on-one relationship with them separately, you know?
Yep.
So those two leave for exile, and we get to challenge. And Probe says a twist is coming so big that the whole Survivor world will pause at it to take note because it hasn't happened before. Now, what are you thinking when he says this?
I don't know. Based on bracketology, I kind of knew where this was going, but it wasn't that big compared to, like you said, we've seen this many times before.
Like, I guess his big thing was, three people are going home in one episode. But the twist that got us there, like we said, Jeff, this is a normal new era thing. You get the merge, and then you immediately have them draw rocks at a challenge and split into arbitrary groups for separate tribals.
Yeah.
Holy he oversold this so hard. But we did get a science lesson from him on how blood moons work, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was
I
funny.
saw one like I remember seeing one in person one time, like
Oh,
outside.
really? Cool.
So that's cool. Sometimes the moon is like yellow too, or like orangeish.
And we also got a science lesson from someone other than Christian Hubicki, which was not on my bingo card this season.
And we got some from Steven last season.
Yep.
But at this point, also, Probst is talking long enough and he's hyping this twist up so much. I literally wrote in my notes, just say what the twist is already. Because he went forever about how big the twist was going to be. Then his science lesson about the blood moon was going. It's a triple boot. We're dividing into three groups. Like,
Yeah.
holy oversell.
Really.
The immunity necklace is really cool, though. The like
Yes.
bird, it gives me really strong Hunger Games vibes, and I love that series. So
Nice.
I'll send
That was
I'll
a great
send
necklace.
I'll send you some pictures it made me think of.
Excellent.
But yeah. Also, the reward is Applebee's, so I wrote down where's Liz. So it's funny you referenced Liz earlier.
I wrote down maybe I need to find an Applebee's when I'm in Vegas next week because I've never seen one in my life.
Yeah. So you haven't been to Applebee's before?
No, we don't have them here. The closest Applebee's is like a 3 hour drive in upstate New York somewhere.
Have you been to Chili's? It's kind of the same
Nope.
thing.
I've never been to one either.
Chili's is good. I like Chili's.
Nice.
Fair
I would assume the closest Chili's is probably also in upstate New York.
enough.
They might have both of them in Niagara Falls because people walk across the border to the Canadian side because the views are a lot nicer. A lot of big US chains tend to have their only location in Canada in Niagara Falls right on the border.
I know someone that like last year went on vacation, and part of that was Niagara Falls, and apparently the Canadian side is a lot touristier.
Yeah. The American side is mostly just a casino. The and the park, which is beautiful to view the US side of the falls from. But the Canadian side is like mini Las Vegas.
I would have thought we had the touristy side and you had the cool, beautiful nature park side. To be honest, that this feels the way it is feels kind of backwards based on just how we
Well,
are.
I think they built the touristy side on our side because the views are better on our side. So that brought more people, which brings more hotels, which brings two giant casinos, which brings gimmicky attractions.
Fair enough. So our reward is not a trip to Niagara Falls, though. So getting into the challenge. Jury
No,
begins
it's
after
Applebee's.
the blood moon, which also stinks because not only do we lose these three people, we don't get to see them on jury.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
It's a classic challenge, though, which I love. I
Oh,
love when
yeah.
we get the classic challenges. It's
The challenge is great. It's just the fact that really, when you look at it, how good of a game all three of these people played, Genevieve, Colby, and Camilla, and that they're going to be missed on day 26.
Yeah, but getting into the challenge itself, it's probably the most iconic time we saw this was heroes versus villains. Or I believe they did one-on-one matchups, didn't they?
Yes.
And so it's the one where you just have a like rectangle frame and you're standing on footholds and you can only use your like legs and hands to balance. You can't use your I've seen a few
We saw the,
screenshots on Twitter where it looks like Christian came really close to using his shoulder if he didn't, but
which I mean depends on if it gets called or not, because we saw Tony not follow the rules of a challenge in 40
yeah,
that
sometimes
he
they
ended
just
up
don't
winning.
see it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not one-on-one matchups. We don't get Sandra standing in there saying, I popped kids out, I can handle this. I did not write down the three groups, but we're in three groups and we're standing there. There's an individual immunity from each group,
Yep,
and the last person standing wins reward for their group.
that's right.
Pen in my notes is not a ton from the challenge itself. I have Prope saying the stakes are big again. And Rick says you keep saying the stakes are big, and I keep thinking you're talking about the Applebee's.
It's true. They looked big.
Yeah. So D wins immunity for Teal, which I was happy about, of course, and then she immediately drops. And Christian, he wins individual immunity for Pink and drops shortly after that. So Orange team is guaranteed reward here. And it comes down to Steph versus Chrissy on the Orange team, which was kind of a fun showdown, wasn't it?
Yes, this was a fun showdown. Two players that we haven't seen in a long time, both fan favorites to their own segments of the fan base. I know Kevin was probably very invested in Chrissy winning this challenge.
Yeah. Steph wins the showdown, though, which means here was my takeaway from the immunity challenge. My draft team has three people in this game right now, and two of them were immune this week.
Yeah.
And the third is in a really has relationships. So I was happy. We go to Exile Island where Ozzy says he finally has a chance to breathe and skip tribal because he's been to every tribal up until this point. We see Rizzo show trust by telling Ozzy he has an idol, which is big. Like these two are bonding now.
Yeah. Very much.
And Ozzy now believes that he and Rizzo and Suri are locked in together as a trio now.
This would be a fun final three.
Yeah, and there's also a Rizzo D connection also, which was my note here because everything comes back to my favorite player this season. So
fair enough.
Which is kind of how I imagine you were during Winters at War. We'd been doing the show then. So
yeah, absolutely. Kind of how I mean, you would know how I would have been if we did the show at Winners at War. Just pop over to another show on this channel, New Generation Challenge Podcast, and watch TT and I talk about any episode that Michelle is on.
Yeah, true. So we go to the sanctuary where good things happen, and they all show up and they all have these shark bowl drinks waiting for them that look ginormous.
Yes, they do. Those looked amazing.
I don't know what's in it, but the color of it intrigues me. I normally like the fruit flavored drinks. I like a pina colada.
It looks to me like it's a margarita made with blue curacao instead of Cointreau or Grand Marnier. I mean, I've made those in my blender many times before.
It's also in a glass the size of an actual fishbowl, it seems like. which would get you pretty drunk anyway, but when you don't have any food in your system, that's a giant drink.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so we do learn here that Tiffany seems to want to go after Chrissy, and I put Kevin's team as targeting themselves. Here's the thing. Kevin's team lost one person this week. He easily could have lost two people. He could have been just as dead as your dad is.
Absolutely.
So we go to Calo Beach, which is where the pink group is. And Aubrey wants to get together with Rick and Christian to vote for Jen because Jen has no interest in working with her. And I wrote down, you also had no interest in working with her. That goes both ways, Aubrey.
Yep, very true.
I don't know if it's intentional, but Aubrey just kind of comes off in her confessional sometimes like she's this victim that Genevieve's targeting for no reason. You
I
started.
mean, I mean, we saw the same thing with her confessionals in other seasons, so not much has changed.
It's like you started this. You went up to her and said, "I have a ton of respect for you, but I don't know if I can work with you."
The
What do you think was going to happen?
I'm on the menu right now. The Shark Bowl is a frozen drink with Captain Morgan's spiced rum and blue curacao.
As long as you're on your phone, go to Messenger. I sent you a picture of some Hunger Games book covers.
I saw that at the same time. That did look cool.
You see why I get that from the immunity
Yes,
necklace.
absolutely.
But we also see Christian say that Jen is one. I shortened it to Jen. They say Genevieve. Say that she's one of the most dangerous players in the game, which
Yep.
she is.
Oh, no question.
I was reading her exit interview with Mike Bloom on EW this week, and she called herself a bad Survivor player. And I had to read it twice to make sure I read it right.
Yeah.
And I saw the video version of that today. His response was, "What the hell are you talking about?" So
Yeah. She's
that's
a
just wild to me that she thinks
top
she's
tier
not a good
Survivor
Survivor
player.
player.
I mean, it's got to be frustrating if you're in Genevieve's position to really be in control of the game all the way till the week you go home and then to go home right before the merge. But
Technically, right at the merge.
yeah, you're right.
They were
But
together on one beach very briefly. But
but it's like, I mean, she's just almost in that spot of like what you would say for a hockey or a football team that just gets to the third round every year.
yeah, or Toronto going out in the first or second round
Well,
every year.
well, no. Toronto is the equivalent of Wendy Joe or a Zane Knight as a Survivor player.
That seems okay. That's a bit extreme for a team that until this year had like 10 straight postseason appearances.
They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967 yet. Were they one of the original teams of the league?
If we're going like Zane Knight comparisons though, I'm thinking of a team that's like always out of the playoffs.
Didn't you specify talking about D that the audience knows that sometimes we say things that are very biased?
Oh, I know. I'm just messing. Because now I'm trying to think about Zane for a second. If, before this year, my mind would have said Buffalo because Buffalo missed the playoffs like 14 years in a row, but they're going to
Buffalo is
make
an
it this year.
amazing team.
So,
It'll be fun to do Stanley Cup chat in a couple of weeks.
yeah, but my team's not going to be in it, so it won't be
No.
as fun. But Chicago is eliminated officially for the sixth year
Yeah.
in a row, which is nice. And my Blues have had a very disappointing season compared to expectations, and Chicago's still worse. So that's fun. Bottom feeders. Anyway, let me find where. This is where Genevieve kind of like she's desperate, but not a great move. Tries to pitch Christian on voting out Devins.
I mean, she had to do something.
She had to do
And
something, but
she
hey,
doesn't
let's
know
vote
this
out your
whole
number
plan
one.
of the hidden idol that Christian and Devins have together, or how close they are.
Yeah. We also see that Devins kind of wants to target Joe just so Joe isn't on the jury. And his vendetta. It's nice to know that Rick's vendetta against Joe and the fact that Joe doesn't play the same style as him is alive and well for some reason.
Yeah.
So we go to the Sela camp where the Teal group is, and it seems down to Colby and Coach are up for grabs. And Dee gives us she also got more confessionals this week finally. Says
Yes,
they're
she
going to
did.
be her little puppies tonight, and that made me chuckle. This is where I wrote down Colby doesn't have a vote. I totally forgot about that. Because that
That's
just
true.
was not on my mind at all till he said it. I forgot about it.
Yep.
So Coach this is where I'm kind of like, oh, gee, D is like D's out here playing, and even Coach had a moment here where he realized how good of a player she is. Because Coach wants to wait on Colby. He feels like Colby's kind of a lame duck. You can take him out anytime. So he lies and tells D that, hey, last night Emily was telling me people she wants to vote out, and your name was at the top of my, like, your name was one of the first ones she said. The problem is D and Emily are super tight. They're homegirls. So D knows this is a lie. And instead of like doing the typical pretend to believe it, turns it right back around on him and goes, oh, well, why didn't you tell me sooner? Why are you just now telling me?
Yeah,
That's incredible.
it is.
Like, she caught him in a lie so quickly, and he really didn't know how to respond.
Yep.
He kind of just hems and haws and realizes it was a mistake and tells us in a confessional that he won't do that again. And like, I think he kind of realized how good of a player she was right there in that moment.
Absolutely.
And of course, she then immediately goes and tells Emily that Coach lied about her. But Sari wants to try to convince Dee to take out Colby instead of Coach, and says taking out Coach instead of Colby would be like taking the tail off the snake instead of the head. So, what would you do between these two choices?
I mean, based on what we know with Colby's medical situation, taking out Coach just as a from a very um harsh strategic way is probably the way to get closer and closer to the end of the game. Um, the fact that Colby didn't have a vote makes him an attractive vote because you know he can't turn something on you the way Coach might be able to.
Yeah.
So I think they're both decent options. I probably would have went go big or go home and tried to vote out Coach here,
I think
but I can understand why they would want to vote out Colby instead, just because of that missing vote that in my mind he should have got back about 3 episodes ago.
I think I'd vote for Coach, and not just because it's what Dee and Emily wanted versus what Sari wanted, which
Yeah.
Dee and Emily are ultimately the decision makers here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Sari got what she wanted, but she didn't make that happen.
Yeah.
But Coach is just so much
It's been
more
the
under.
story of the season so far, and it shows you how good Sui's playing.
Yeah. I Here's my thing. Colby is so much more predictable and straightforward. Coach will do things like try to lie to you and then try to backtrack it or whatever. Colby's going to be honest. He's going to tell you what he's thinking. He's going to be straightforward. Like, why wouldn't you want the wild card out?
Yeah.
And this is where in my notes, Dee says she's been working with Cherie. That's her girl. But Emily's also her girl, which is good to me. Because
Yep.
either in the premiere or in pregame press, we saw Emily say, I really, like, I'm not going to lose to the same person twice. So I wasn't sure how tight they'd be. But they're like this, apparently, in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So Cerie's her girl. Emily's also her girl. So she has to decide whether she's voting Colby or Coach. And this is where I realized they somehow let her gain power despite the target on her back and let Dee be the decision maker here. And that's mystifying to me, just like the Cerie thing. Like, how do you people let that happen? But she's kind of running the thing here. Colby makes an interesting pitch to her, though, because he pitches to her that if she doesn't send him home tonight, when they get back to Merge Beach, he'll tell his allies she stuck her neck out for him and that they need to take other people out before her and keep her around for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a great offer from him, and you know he means it. Like, he's very straightforward. He doesn't do the lying and cheating thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're so afraid he has this scary alliance he's command of. Why wouldn't he? Like, that's such a good offer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
to me, this is another reason to vote out Coach because
Yeah, absolutely.
Colby will work to get people off your back the next couple rounds.
Yep.
And D
If
says that
he's
here.
there and not with Dr. Joe.
Yeah. And this is where this whole scene with this group is just very much edited from her perspective.
Yep.
This isn't like me being the fan. My notes are like this is just everything's coming from her right now. She notes what I just said that Colby seems a lot more genuine and trustable. This is where I wrote she's getting a bigger edit this episode. I love that. I'm trying to speed up, I promise. We go to the orange team, and Chrissy sits separately with Camilla and with Tiff and tells them, like, hey, I know you want me gone. If you vote me out, I understand it. It's just game. It's nothing personal. I thought this was interesting.
Yep.
I kind of love this.
Yeah, same.
But she's also like, she's not taking it personal. It's game, but she's not going to just sit and take it. As she approaches both Steph and Jonathan about voting out Camilla. And like this, I think this is where the whole like Zoom alliance thing comes into question. Supposedly these were people were in that. And I kind of see that because all we get in the episode is Chrissy says to both of them, hey, we're cut from the same cloth. And they're just like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, really? That's all it takes? We're cut from the same cloth? I kind of do believe the Zoom Alliance thing at that point.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I'm not upset about it. Again,
yeah, I'm not either.
Gaming happened on
It's
All
happened
Star.
ever since All Stars.
I'm thinking through all the full All Star seasons, not counting the half All Star seasons. We know that
I
was
would even
gaming
think
on
that you.
8. I assume
I would
it
even
was on
think you can
20.
count some of the half All Star seasons. I'm sure some of the vets were pre-gaming on like Edge of Extinction.
Yeah, or like Blood versus
enough
Water or
them.
Micronesia.
Yep.
But so Chrissy has approached Steph and Jonathan. We go back to the other group for a second. Quick confessional from D because we're kind of getting the right before tribal confessionals from everyone. Says her goal is to dismantle the group that doesn't involve her. And what Coach is saying to her is BS, but Colby's only talking to her because he's on the block. And this is where I wrote down she's the decision maker. She's calling the shot on who goes home there.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up being a unanimous vote. But I think like Emily and Suri were going to vote whichever way she voted, in my opinion. So, Orange Tribal, we talked about Camilla going home. Tiffany had her buff in a hair bow. That's got to be a Kenzie shout out, right?
Definitely. That was good.
Do you have any other notes from Orange Tribal?
No.
Pink Tribal, Rick Devens quoted Keith Nail.
Loved it.
Genevieve plays her shot in the dark. Great quote here. What are the odds Christian wants to work with me? More or less than 1 in 6?
I know she's gone. Genevieve was one of the best players of the season so far.
And we learn Probst unravels the scroll. It says not safe. And I wrote that just proved me more right about my shot in the dark take last week.
Yep.
That it can be used in a lot better ways than actually playing it. That it's a little bit useless if you actually try to play it. No. Genevieve goes home.
It's
Teal Tribal, I also don't have much notes.
But at the same time, if you're in Genevieve's spot, it's the most useful thing you have, despite the fact that you found 2 idols in this game.
Yeah. So, Teal Tribal, I don't know about you. I also have no notes other than Coach has feathers and beads in his hair all of a sudden.
Old Coach back, old Ozzy back.
Old Ozzy and new Ozzy are kind of going back and forth.
Are very interchangeable this season.
Colby had fun this time again, which is good because on 20
he was good.
Miserable.
He was. I'm glad
Colby does go home.
To see Colby come back and finish Survivor on a high note, because in 20 he did not finish his legendary career, what we thought at least at that time, on a very high note. Um, yeah, Colby does go home. Jeff notably says Colby for the final time the tribe has spoken. He hasn't said that to anyone else. What do you think? Is there a chance we see Genevieve or Camilla in maybe a 54 or 55?
No, Camilla maybe. Genevieve, no. Genevieve said today in her exit interview with Mike Bloom, the only way she'd ever even consider it is blood versus water because her husband wants to play.
Well, 44, 45 could be VVW3. I
So
mean, I've been campaigning for a Blood versus Water 3, dating all the way back to when I realized the strength of the Michelle Kim relationship. So
yeah. And so do we want ready to dive into a line blindside first boot?
yeah, let's do it.
You want to go first or you want me to?
Go ahead.
So oh, this is hard. I didn't think about this. We had so
Yeah,
much
I
to
didn't
say.
either. That's why I told you to go.
I'll go simple. I'll just go with the three people that went home this week: Colby, Genevieve, Camilla.
Okay, I'm going to align with Genevieve. My favorite player here, someone that I think would be very good to play the game with, knows the game very well. I'm going to blindside Camilla and hope that she respects it and holds that alliance strong. We've seen Camilla be probably the most effective juror in the franchise's history in 48. And that leads me to first boot Colby, which makes sense because you don't really know which Colby you're going to get.
I'm gonna go the other way, and here's the thing. Not only has it been proven that going to the end with Colby is a winning strategy, the two women here are two women that if they make it to the end on their first season, they win. Maybe Camilla loses if it's her and Kyle at the end. Maybe Genevieve loses against Rachel at the end. But they both beat anyone else on their season.
So,
So I'll align with Colby. Flip a coin between the other two, I guess. Like you said, put Camilla on the jury and hope it's in my favor. And first boot Genevieve.
nice. I am going to take just one more second because I have a theme. I just want to make sure I don't say something stupid that the audience would laugh at me about. I'm going to give you three players from split tribals. So your options are Tori from 42, Sifu from 45, and Say from 48.
Jonathan, Sifu, and Say, you said?
No, Tori, Sifu, and Say.
Oh. I'm gonna first boot Say. I'm just not sure how well like we mesh together personality wise.
Yeah,
I'm going to blindside Tori and align with Sifu because he just seems
nice.
like so much fun.
Yeah, I
He is. I've
completely
hung
agree
out
with
with
you
him
there.
at Bryson Wen.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that decision.
nice. Well, this has been a long episode, but it's been a fun one. Check out Pit Stop Pals, Next Generation Challengers.
It has been fun. And Bruce, next time we record this, we'll be in person for one episode.
Yes, there will be. So
I'll
with
be.
that being said, grab your torches and head back to camp, everyone. Bye.
Bye.